and it has a default value of 50. So let me just show you. Here is the default value of 50. As soon as we changes this chart updates. And how this chart is getting update, let me just show you. As you can see, the component here is a custom component. By You can see this, here's a C mark for the custom component. The standard ones have lightning, or even they can have a different namespace if they are of any other different app. But this is the way to create a custom component. This have In order to use that, there's a component called chart bar. So let's say chart bar. So they are using the component C chart bar. Then they are passing the percentage that we got from this event and receiving in this percentage field. And they have created a percentage variable and exposed it as a public so that its parent can easily use it. So here it is receiving the percentage, and they have written a getter function. These are some JavaScript standard functionalities that you can use. They've created a getter function, and they are giving the style to the HTML file, and it is using some it is using the Lightning layout in order to format the functionality, format the UI. Then it is displaying and getting the percentage from the parent. So as soon as you change the percentage value from parent, you receive it in the child, and your component re-renders. And this can be expanded to any use case. If you're pairing to, like, let's say this chart component can be reused in different LWCs. So that's why we created a child component. We don't have to hard code this component's code in parent component's code, so that it's become like dependent on the parent. We have to create independent child components so it can be reused in future in any code. So this is the actual concept of parent to child. There's another concept, child to parent. I don't know, there's time left to discuss that. Rimsha, Mustafa,
Yeah,
Yusuf.
I think
we can if it's not going to take much time.
Okay, let me just go through this component. So child to parent component, basically, we have seen the parent to child. Parent to child happens. We can easily create public variables in our child component, and we receive the parent parameter just as like a function. We are receiving a parameter value from our parent. But in order to child to parent communication, do we have to fire custom events. So let's see this one. Event simple. This is a component. Let's say I'm clicking the button next, and this page counter is increasing 3, 4, but these are two different LWCs. So let me just show you how this is happening. Event simple, this component. So this component has a by default variable. One, it has a value. Then we have two handlers. It's handle previous, handle next. And then we have the standard lightning card here. We have custom component called paginator, which has two different functions running. Let me just go to the paginator. So this paginator component has two buttons. I think you can see previous and next. So here are the two buttons, next, previous, and it has two controllers, handle next and handle previous. But this functions doesn't have any logic defined in that. They are just calling a event. They are saying when next is clicked, dispatch a event name is next. And as we go to the its parent component, which was event simple, you can see in the HTML they have defined on previous, on next. So the event name, the custom event name, what was next, you have to append on. So on next, what should happen? Handle next. And this parent have the handle next logic written inside it. And it is saying that page increment the page number, and the handle previous same decrement the page number. So actual UI is in the child component, and as soon as I click on the next, so child component will fire an event, the parent will catch it and increase the number as same as it will decrease as in this component. So this can be expanded. There are different variants available in this page. Let's say event with data. As soon as I click on this data will display on the different component. So there are different variables to play around. I'll recommend everyone to download this app and install it in the LWC or in your dab, or so it can be easily used. Uh, there are different topics to you can easily play around in this functionality. You can easily check out Lightning DOM, messaging service. You can easily go for Apex. There are different Apex functionalities. How actually we can use Apex in LWCs. So that's it. Any questions for parent to child, child to parent, LWCs?
Yes, Nay, there's one question. How many ways to pass data from parent component to a child component in the LWC in the chat?
Mm, how many ways to pass data from a parent component to a child component? There are multiple ways. Let me just show you. Uh, let's say we have a basic method that's a parameter method. Like you are creating a public property and in your child component and using that property to get the data. One method is that you can create methods, API methods. Let me just show you how you can easily also expose the your your methods as well. So let's say this method is handle refresh. uh, I think this is not something called,
हाँ हाँ ठीक है ठीक है
this is a method handle refresh. Now there's another component clock. As you can see, the clock method is a child component. Clock LWC is a child component, and it has a method of refresh. It is creating a new date, and this method itself is publicly exposed, so its parent can easily call it. Here's a refresh method, and the parent method was what was the name? It was API method. So here's an API method. API method is what it is calling. It is using template query selector. So this will actually give you access to your components DOM. So like child component was called inside the parent. So you can easily access your child component by giving it the name. So query selector will bring all the document, the whole tree of the DOM. Then you can easily use the publicly exposed functions. We call it refresh. So now there's a button we call refresh time. Click on the refresh time, and this child component clock will display the latest time that is currently. So this is a different method of calling child components methods. So you can easily reuse your child component methods in this manner. Then we have API setter getter. Then you can easily create API setter getter that you don't have to like expose your variables. You just have to create setter getter. Let me just show you. This is a function called to do list. Oh, sorry, LWC called to do list. So here you have created your getter and setter, and you can easily publicly expose them so that you don't have to like expose your variable directly. You can easily expose the function as well. So this function will what will do, this function will get the value from the parent and assign to your local variable. So this local variable, as soon as the getter runs, but the setter runs below before that. So setter is publicly, these both are the publicly exposed. It will get the value, and you can use the getter to return the value as in your below the local code. So this is a different way to you can easily pass the parameter to your child. There is another method that is not mentioned in this variant. You can use that. There's a different method called API method. As we saw, this API method has a component of clock, which was has a method of refresh, but there is no parameter. Let's say I am adding a parameter of clock counter. So this will receive a variable, this will receive a parameter from the parent. So I can easily go to this API and I can add a variable number 6. So now 6 value will be received in the here counter. So I can use this counter anywhere inside the logic. So this is another method to pass the data from parent to child. I think this should answer your question.
There's one more question in the chat. What are the use cases?
Let me just see where is
The
the
last one.
question. It's a development training, so let's say basic knowledge. Okay. Is there any simple way to learn coding in a short time? I would say before
You
jumping
can
into coding,
say you
before
can
jumping
skip
into
this one. Maybe you can answer the last
I think this guy is confused, but I would say the in directly jumping into coding, go for the concepts, learn the concepts. Coding is not that difficult. Learn concepts, learn about OOP because Apex and LWC are all, like running on the OOP. They have all the OOP concepts. So go for the concepts, and you can easily get that concept on Google. So that's not a big deal to get. How many ways to pass data, that's covered. What is the flow of life cycle hooks in the, I think that's a topic that we'll cover in the next training. Rimsha already shared some insights on that. What are the use cases? Also, can you give me a quick overview of parent to child? Again, I think you can watch the recording. We don't have any much time left. We have only 7 minutes. uh, I can just give you a overview. uh, so this actually works when you want to create reusable components. So let's say I have a component. Let's say I'm creating a related list that shows me my child objects data on my parent record page. Okay. So I'm creating a related list. I'm thinking of every field in that related list should be a component so that it can be reused. I don't like have to write hard code text, hard code for 5 different fields. I want to create something that dynamic so I can easily configure my field names, my field labels, my errors, everything should be configurable. So in order to do that, you have to create child components. So every field can be a different component so you can reuse it in your parent component. So then
So,
when we do such thing, oh, okay, let Simon.
yeah, yeah. So it is like creating a code block, right? Which we can use in different manners later on.
Yes, yes. Like
Exactly.
creating functions, different functions
Yeah,
to be reusable.
I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So parent to child, child to parent is the basic ways of communication.
Okay, okay. Got
Yes.
it. Thank you.
Any other questions so far? Apologies, I joined. Possible to review the session if recording will
Yeah,
remain.
yeah.
Yes, recording will be there.
So thank you, Sneh. Thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, they can get in touch with Sneh directly as well. Me, Rimsha. So we are on the group. I hope everyone is on the group chat. So thank you, Sneh, for your time, and thank you so much. It was a lovely presentation.
Thank you so much,
I
Sneh.
No worries. Thank you.
I
Thank you,
hope
Sneh. Thank you,
everyone
everyone,
loved
for
it.
joining.
S-
Yeah.
Rimsha, I
Sorry.
think in the beginning you mentioned that the extensions and different links with people.
Yes. Yes.
I would say there is a trail available. You
Mm-hmm.
can easily set up your VS Code for the LWCs. I think people should
Yes,
go
name.
for that.
I will share the trail and I will also share the links and everything on the group again because we have just changed the meeting and the recording. Hassan was saying something, so Hassan, please go on and then I will start.
No, but I was just thanking everyone for joining as well, and it was a lovely presentation. Thank you, Sneh, again, and thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we will be sharing the details for the next session on the group and the community. So let us know your thoughts and feedback. And thank you everyone for joining, for the questions. And if you guys need any more help, just let us know. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye,
sure.
everyone.
Also, stay
Bye.
tuned for the next session.
Take
Yeah,
care. Bye.
Take care.
take care.
Bye
Bye.
Bye,
bye.
everyone.
Thank you.